Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Let's clear the field. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope you're finding joy. What's this? Excuse me. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Welcome in. Let me clear your field for you. Robin! Hello, Robin. Good morning. Good morning, my friend. How are we? Good morning, Jose. Hello. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in, everybody. We got a doozy. I got a 2-for-1 today. I got a 2-for-1. Hello, chest lights. Hello. Good morning. I'm just waiting for some people to come in while I clear the field. Allow me to clear your field for you. Blessed and aware. Yes, Robin. Blessed and aware. Absolutely. I like that. No more daylight savings time. That's right. I know it's really, technically it'd really be, what, 7? 7 in the morning? I know, I was like in bed and I was like, oh, I gotta get up. I kept looking at the clock. I'm like, it's so freaking early. I'm just clearing whatever is stuck or stagnant in this energy so we can read it. We're going to do a reading today that is a 2-for-1. It's definitely a doozy. I've been wanting to do this my whole life. It's for the Cecil Hotel and Elisa Lamb. If you're not aware, we'll talk about it in a moment. I'm just going to allow people to come in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button and that subscribe button so people can find us. You look like a druid. Oh, thank you. Hello, Stuart. Absolutely. You look like my school miss. What's a school miss? Is that like a teacher or something? Well, thank you. Thank you, her granny. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm so happy. Janine, no sound? Really? No sound? On TikTok, can you guys hear me? Oh, wait a second. Okay, how's that? I had my, thank you so much, Janine. Thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. I almost said describe. Thank you. I had my mute button on. I'm sorry about that. I was adjusting the microphone. Dude, that's rude. Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we are here every weekend for you. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, we are here live for you, for spirit, for the whole world, so we can heal, so we can help souls go home, so we can learn how to read energy together. We're so happy to be here. We love you so much. I'm so grateful for this gift that's being developed through my spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle, Mish, Mirabelle, and Mantis. We made a pact, we made a promise to help the world and the collective in this time. And so here we are connected. And Spirit always says, that's why we named you Patience, because we knew you would need a lot of it. And I'm so grateful to be here. So we have a doozy for you. Like I said, we post every weekend. We're learning how to read energy in real time. We put all of our spirit nuggets and all of the things we learn for you on our TikTok and on our Instagram and on our podcast, Spirit News, where we bring you higher perspective of linear views with spirit. We talk about things from a higher perspective, things that are a mystery, things that are unseen, things that and hopefully in the process we get to heal, bring some closure, bring some knowledge, learn some new things about energy and how the universe works and all of that. And my name is Patience, so we're gonna do, I always feel like I don't say enough in the beginning. I always miss things. I go back and I'm like, oh, I should have said this or that, but yeah, I guess you can't really control that. Spirits are the real. From where in the world? I'm in Rhode Island. I'm in Rhode Island. Can you make my energy bill go? I cannot. Burger King foot lettuce as I'm tweaking. Spirit nuggets, yeah. Little spirit nuggets. We do have thank you, Donnie. Danny. We do have a podcast. It's called Spirit News. You can find all of the links for that in our bio. And whatever is your favorite platform to watch or to listen to your podcast, it should be there in the link tree. And we put all of our, oh my gosh. Okay, so get this. I'm going to stop yapping about that. So get this. So we're going to talk about the Cecil Hotel and Elisa Lam. Okay, if you guys aren't aware, I'll do a little rundown. Linear time. Oh my gosh, Spirit, I love you so much. I love you so much, Spirit. Thank you for being with me. So I'm just going to give you a short rundown. If you want to do a full deep dive, you can go to Netflix has a documentary, or you can find lots of videos about it on YouTube, stuff like that. But Elisa Lam was a young lady. She died at the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel is known for having, when I was meditating on the energy, it's like accumulation of negative energy. Okay, lots of things happen there. Lots of past things have happened there. It's not known to be a place where you go for a 5-star experience. Okay. It says it recently has been converted to homes. So I wonder, to affordable homes. So I wonder what experiences they have there energetically. But I have always been fascinated by this story because Elisa Lam, she passed away at the Cecil Hotel. She was found in the water tank, and guests were complaining about the water pressure and the quality of the water, so maintenance. And Spirit said maintenance on the necrometer and blogger, and she was a blogger. And I was reading her blogs, and she was known to have depression or bipolar disorder, which, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not denying that those things exist. But what I'm learning about energy is that whatever your energy you're stuck in, or whatever your thoughts are stuck at, will be the experience you have, will be what you experience. And so I was reading through all her blogs, and she has many, and she's a very good writer. She is, and they're called the ether fields, which is very interesting that she would name them ether fields. So she could have been tapping into her subconscious, but I think she was also on a lot of medication to help with her so-called depression and, anxiety and stuff. But what I noticed most about just being an outside observer of her, what she posts and reading her thoughts, for one thing, she's complaining about her university, how she's depressed because she can't seem to get herself out of bed to go to university. She's not doing very well and all of that. Burger King foot lettuce. I'm going to get you out of here if you can't be appropriate. You too, clutch. Okay. But she posts a lot of fashion stuff. She was really into fashion. She even talks about it sometimes. So what I'm perceiving from my own perspective, from a higher perspective, is that, she's probably indoctrinated in the idea that she has to go to university. I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to be anything if I don't finish university. But then her mind and her body are saying another thing. They don't want to. They don't want to do that. They're telling, in my perspective, what I see is that her body is telling her that you don't have fun doing this. This isn't something that you find enjoyable. You should go to university for something else, something that excites you, something that sparks energy within you. If you're depressed and it's hard for you to get out of bed because you can't go to university, a lot of people tend to, she was very self-deprecating. She'd be like, I'm an idiot and I'm not smart enough and I'm not good enough. She'd make herself feel bad for not doing what she is expected to do of herself. Okay. And so what I see from my perspective is that she's forcing herself to do something that she's not meant to do. Okay. And when that happens, the body's way or your spirit's way of telling you that I don't want to do this is to have resistance towards that thing. Clouds, thank you. Yeah, for it to be cloudy, for it to be unclear, for it to be like, no clarity. You'll feel tired and fatigued at the thought of doing that thing. So for Elisa, she called herself Lisa, so I'm going to call her Lisa. For her, she could have been more interested in fashion and stuff like that, because she has many beautiful fashion pictures on here where she's interested in clothing. So I wonder if she would have just followed the thing that she got excited about, if it would have been more, oh, thank you so much for subbing. If it would have been, more exciting for her to follow something she was interested in. So I think, just right off the bat, I can see a difference of what she is expected to do, and then the repercussions of that in her life. If we don't know about energy, if we're our society doesn't teach us about energy. They want us to not think that energy is relevant or important, but it 100% is, because if we're not understanding energy, then how are we supposed to understand what it's trying to tell us through our body and through our expectations? You know what? I don't know what all this is about, but I'm going to get it out. David, I'm not going to put up with that. Okay. Jeez, that was some kind of weird fetish or something. I don't know. So right off the bat, that's what I noticed about Lisa. And the necrometer said blogger, and she is definitely interested in blogging. You can absolutely go find her blogs. They're completely available to anyone who wants to read them. She has quite a bit of them. So she was basically berating herself about, she has a meme right here with someone lying on the couch. It says, stop it, stop being sad, stop right now, stop. So just like a joke about, you try to tell yourself to not be sad, but you can't just tell yourself to not be sad. So there's definitely a disconnection. She says depression sucks, period. If someone says to you they have depression, don't ask why. There's no why. Don't say stop being sad. That is not helpful. Just be around and make sure they eat and go outside. Remind them every day it will get better. Tell them every day you love them, and losing them would be unbearable. There's nothing else you can do. So, what Spirit tells us about depression and anxiety. If you have depression, you're living in the past, and if you have anxiety, you're living in the future. Spirit says there's no other time except for now. And so what you have to do in order to pull yourself out of that, and I'm not saying that it's easy, it definitely is a something you have to practice at to become better at it. But the more you do it, the better you become, and pretty soon it becomes just natural. It just becomes something that you wake up and do, but you have to choose joy. And in this plane of duality, you can choose to focus on everything that's going wrong for you, or you can choose to focus on everything that you love. And some people might say that's toxic positivity, but it's not about not acknowledging the things that we don't like. It's about actively choosing what we want and what we don't want. And so it's all in your mind and the people who are around you. Leave the ones and things that are not helping you to progress. Well, for Lisa, I think a lot of it could have been cultural. She was an Asian Canadian, and in her family, according to what we've learned, they have an expectation of education in a very specific way. And when our families put that amount of pressure on us to become something very specific, it limits what we can do for ourselves, and it limits what adventures we can go on to find ourselves. And it puts people in a very tough position because you don't want to disappoint your family. They're paying for you to go to university. They're expecting you to have a certain level of education to be accepted by them. And so that makes it really hard for someone like Lisa to break out of that, because she doesn't want to disappoint her family, but at the same time she's unhappy. Okay. What a, so Spirit said moving furniture. Yes, we'll get to the hotel. So that's about Lisa. So she was definitely stuck in a loop of depression, and the one thing that we want to that we'll say about Lisa before we move on to the hotel, and then we'll start bridging the gap. Intelligent haunting. Oh, I was just going to say that we create, when it comes to energy, your thoughts are the gateway to hauntings. And I don't mean like ghost hauntings. I mean like, if our thoughts, let's just say theoretically, if it's true that our thoughts turn to things, and we're constantly thinking about how we don't like this and we don't like that, and we hate this and we hate ourselves and we hate, if that's our constant feedback loop of what we're thinking, then what we experience will match those thoughts. And so people, places, things are always going to reflect what you're thinking about constantly. And so Elisa is a prime example of that. All of her blogs states something very self-deprecating. I felt like I wanted to, unalive myself, and I met somebody who for 5 minutes made me feel like I didn't want to do that, and so I'm not saying that, it's her fault that she passed, but I am saying that her experiences and what led up to her death could possibly have matched her thoughts. Spirit said creepy. And so if that's true, then I learned this lesson at a very young age, and through Spirit, and as a child psychic, Spirit taught me. I love you too, Nicholas. And thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And that's absolutely right. We do all have our destinies, but we might not all be living our destiny because we're changing their fate through our thoughts. And so we have to start, we go further into the future, we have to understand energy, and energy will be more potent in this time as we go into the future, because we're getting closer to the sun and we're going into a golden age, and our thoughts are going to turn to things a lot faster than they used to. And we're going to have to understand the way energy works through our thoughts, and that we're electromagnetic and our thoughts are electromagnetic, because it's going to happen faster, good and bad. And so if you want to stick to your destiny and you want to understand your destiny and what you came here to do and what your soul's mission, then we're going to have to take responsibility for our thoughts. And we're going to have to take the reins of that. And I learned this at a very young age, because Spirit taught me that to be careful about what you think about. And I've said this story before. So at like 5 years old, I had a thought lying in bed about my mom chopped up in a million pieces in a dumpster, and it came out of nowhere. And it's an intrusive thought. And that's how lower energy entities work. They work on your deepest fears. They can read your mind, and they'll put that thought in your mind. And at that time, my thought was losing my mom. So of course, the intrusive thought was, at 5 years old, was, finding my mom chopped up in a dumpster. So I got really scared, and I was like, oh my gosh, why are you telling me this? And Spirit said, is it truly what you're thinking, or did it just appear out of nowhere? Is it happening right now in the moment, or is it true? They said, is it true? And I thought about it. I said, no, it's not true. It's not happening in this moment. And then they said, okay, well, if it's not true, then why are you thinking it? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. It just kind of popped in my head. And they said, exactly. Definitely, Spirit just said, definitely. And I said, okay, well, what do I do about it? And they said, you have to tell yourself, well, that's not true, go away. You have to tell that intrusive thought to leave your presence. You have to command it to leave you. So you say, I don't want to think that thought, get out of here, or whatever, however you want to say it. And then you choose a better thought. So then I thought about my mom, coming down the stairs, getting her a cup of coffee and making me breakfast and all the things that make me feel safe and comfortable. So I actively chose a different thought in that moment. And that's how you if Elisa Lamb were here today, that would be my advice to her. You can think about how it is all you want. But if you keep thinking about how it is, then you're going to be a gateway for other intrusive thoughts to invade your thought, and you're not going to be able to sift through them and detach yourself from them. You're going to think that they're yours. So there's something about Lisa being a gateway because she didn't understand this concept, and she kept thinking things about how bad she felt all the time because she wasn't following her destiny. She wasn't following the natural path that her soul had planned for her. She was following someone else's. And when you're following someone else's path for you or expectations, yeah, you're going to be depressed. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to not want to do those things. You're not going to be inspired. You're not going to have energy to put towards those things that you feel like you're supposed to do, but you don't really want to do. So that's an indicator, that's supposed to help you understand, like, well, if this doesn't make me happy, if I'm not excited to do this, if I don't find joy in doing this, then what else do I find joy in? But she didn't understand that. So it made her a gateway or portal for negative energy. Okay, she was like a beacon for negative energy to come, and she was already susceptible to intrusive thought. So that's something that's very important because she went to the Cecil Hotel. Now, listen to this. So I'm sorry, that was like long-winded. I just want to make sure I'm explaining it correctly for you guys to like understand how it works, okay? That's ultimately why we do these readings, just to understand how it works, okay? Life is hard. If it knocks you down, get back up stronger. Absolutely. Craig says he's completely naked right now. Good for you, honey. I'm so happy for you. People are so funny. So now when it comes to the Cecil Hotel is a portal, is an absolute portal. And it was made a portal because of all of the things that happened there that created a vortex, if you will. Okay, and so it has an infamous past, it says. The Cecil Hotel, which has since been converted into affordable housing, has a dark history, including being the site of other deaths, violence, and notorious serial killers. This history contributed to the intense media attention and conspiracy theories surrounding Lamb's case. Okay? So I believe, what was that serial killer? He was also a Satanist. It was in the 80s. I forget his name. Spirit says don't say his name. Okay. But he is known for staying at that hotel and doing some satanic things there. So it's in Hollywood, California. Cecil Hotel's in Hollywood, California. So it's definitely become a vortex from all the years of satanic stuff, from abuse, from rituals, from all kinds of things. Okay, so we want to keep that in mind. It's already an energetic portal. Okay, and so the autopsy of Lamb was inconclusive because she was found in a water tank. And so any trauma or evidence of other signs of physical abuse or assault were, stripped because she was in the water for so long. But the water tank is on top of the roof, and you have to climb up. You have to open the door. She was also found naked. So why she didn't have any clothes on, I don't know. We're gonna find out. There's viral elevator footage of her acting erratically. It says is showing her behavior acting erratically inside one of the hotel's elevators on the day she disappeared. The video, which showed her pressing multiple buttons, stepping in and out of the elevator, and making strange gestures, and also talking to someone that wasn't visible in the video. They could have been outside the video, or she could have been talking to an entity, you guys. We have to understand energy, and we have to understand that she is a portal for negative energy. They want somebody like that because that is a vessel for them. That is something that they can draw energy off of. That is something they can harvest off of, feed off of. Also for humans that find her to be an easy target, okay? An easy target. Because she's vulnerable, she's alone, she's a young woman, she's only 21 in Hollywood. She wanted to be a tourist. She wanted to go to Hollywood and see the sights and be a young person and travel and do all that and try to follow some kind of blogger path. Okay. But the thing is that she still had those self-deprecating thoughts. So she is trying to, do something different and follow something that's her own, which is commendable. And I absolutely suggest you do that. But the thing is about Elisa is that she still had, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. How am I going to do this? Just always talking bad about herself, which makes you a portal. Okay. Lex says, whoa, who are you talking about? We're talking about Elisa Lamb and the Cecil Hotel. She passed away there. She was found in the water tank. And so it's a mysterious death. She definitely had some weird things, erratic behaviors that were captured on camera before she passed. So this case fascinates me. I want to know what was going on, what was going through her head, who did she encounter, was it a person or was it energy manipulation, was it energy or was it human? I want to know. Okay, so we're gonna find out. I'm sorry, it was like a lot of information because I'm trying to bridge two things together, so forgive me. Let's do some more tiles. Lisa, please. Please, thank you so much for being with us. Elisa Lamb, Cecil Hotel. I invite you into my energy field with Archangel Michael to heal this energy. Let's heal this energy. Let's learn. Let's understand what the heck is happening here so we can heal it, so we can find some closure, so we can understand the unseen. Okay. Thank you guys for being with us. Make sure you're hitting that like button, that subscribe button so you can find us. So you can be notified whenever we post. We do post every weekend, and Spirit's at 13, and I have 1.3 thousand likes in the TikToks. Thank you. So, this energy is making my nostrils stuffy. Okay, Lisa, let's give us some word tiles. We're gonna do the word tiles. Ready? Random word tile. Here we go. Scale. She scaled the water tower. Absolutely. What else, honey? Tell me what else. Escape. She was trying to escape? Scale, escape. What were you trying to escape? Tell us more. Betrayal. Damn. Ooh, I see body right here. She scaled the water tower. Her body was found in the water tower. Come through, honey. Come through. Tell me more. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, guys. Thank you so much. It does help out the channel. Adequate. Adequate. Interesting. Okay, what else? We're talking to Elisa Lamb, who passed at the Cecil Hotel. Oh, I can barely grab them. It's my fingers are behavior. Body adequate behavior. Inadequate behavior. Interesting. Yeah, she had her behaving erratically. Why were you behaving erratically? Hostile. She was scared of something. Something scared her. Fear made her beautiful. Interesting. Scale, escape, betrayal, body, adequate, behavior, hostile, beautiful. Anguish. 8 o'clock. Jeremy. Spirits of Jeremy. Majesty. Majesty. Bail. Instead. She wanted to bail instead. Betrayal. Behavior, hostile. Random. Random. Million. Pause. Search. All right, I'm going to stop there. The board is full. I'm going to stop there. Okay, so let me see. She scaled to escape a betrayal, but her body felt inadequate from a hostile behavior. Beautiful bail. Beautiful bail, anguish, majesty. Instead, random million pause search. Huh. She did have bipolar. She was diagnosed with bipolar. So there seems to be like a hot and cold here. There's something that definitely played on her ups and downs, or the energy that she was feeling that was up and down. There says a betrayal. It could have been a betrayal of her mind, a betrayal of her body. She could have followed something that she thought that felt good, that felt beautiful. She was following something, and then she realized she had to bail because it wasn't what she thought it was. Something that happened randomly. She followed something that she thought it was almost like something that she thought was good, she was following, and then it switched on her randomly. It switched on her. Like it tricked her. Something that may have tricked her.
8 gods.
8 gods. Yeah, something that may have tricked her. It may have made her feel adequate, and so she followed it. And then once she paused or questioned it, it became hostile, and she felt like she had to escape. So something about her behavior changed. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to be energetic or an actual person. If she encountered a person who made her feel beautiful. That reminds me of the song. So the song I had, I did a shuffle. I did a shuffle-mancy. The energy is making me constipated. It's making you feel stuck. Why are you saying random words? Because we did word tiles. And so the song I got was Man Eater. Okay, by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And it says, she'll only come out at night, the lean and hungry type. Nothing is new. I've seen her here before, watching and waiting. Oh, she's sitting with you, but her eyes are on the door. So many have paid to see what you think you're getting for free. The woman is wild, a she-cat tamed by the purr of a jaguar. Money's the matter. If you're in it for love, you ain't gonna get too far. Here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Okay, so there's something, she's deadly. Man, she could really rip your world apart. Mind over matter. The beauty is there, but a beast is in the heart. Just like the tiles say, beautiful and hostile at the same time. Body, adequate, behavior, betrayal. You guys, I think she may have encountered an energy in the hotel that was jealous of her, that may have passed, perhaps like a prostitute energy or something that she didn't know was energetic. You know, when you're Lisa Lamb and you're a portal for energy and you attract negative energy in a place like Cecil Hotel that's like a portal for whatever happened there, all the things that happened there, rituals. Thank you so much, Spirit. Spirit just said rituals. You can encounter a spirit and not know that it's not real, because when you're someone like Lisa who is already at a low state of consciousness where you are receptive to lower energies like that, you can perceive them as being real inside of your mind. And so when you're interacting with the energy that's very strong, that's very concentrated in a place like Cecil Hotel or any place that has a concentrated amount of energy, you will perceive the energy as being real. And so she's telling us right now that what she encountered could have been a lost soul that could have been lost at the hands of a ritual, possibly a prostitute, that's very angry that Lisa's alive and in this place. And so the energy will come to you to draw you in, but the energy really wants this energy that has life to be where it's at. That's how painful, traumatic energy works, okay? It wants what you are, because you're alive, and it's upset that it's not alive, okay? Because it lost itself through its own choices, through its trauma, and it's stuck in that place. So she could have made a friend, an energy could have, what the heck is that? Spirit said octet. 8 seem to be really relevant. Spirit said 8 o'clock, 8 gods, and octet, which, let me just double check that means something. Yeah, 8 bits in computing equivalent to a byte. Yeah, 8. 8. 8 is very relevant in this reading. Spirit said 8 3 times. So she's telling us right now that this, or what I'm getting is this energy, or this, you can call it a ghost, if you want to call it a ghost, or it's just a very angry soul that is stuck at the Cecil 1800s. Spirit just said 1800s. It's a very angry soul that is trapped, that has no escape, that can't leave that place, it's in a cycle of always reliving the way that it passed, which could have been in a satanic ritual. The Cecil Hotel is known to have been a place where a lot of that happened, and so it creates a vortex that's inverted. And so anyone that's susceptible to that energy, that matches that energy, will be like a beacon in that place, and the souls that are stuck there will be able to see your beacon. And so I don't know if it's a demon. I wouldn't call it a demon. Is it in an energy that's very negative and it's stuck in that place because it can't allow itself to let go of its mistakes? Absolutely. And so it attached itself to Lisa because Lisa is a self-deprecating person. They were matching energies. And so it may have come to her in her mind's eye, and she could have thought that it was real, because you can't tell the difference when you're in this energy. You can't tell the difference. what you see in your mind, it's hard to describe because I'm trying to think of an example. Like, in movies and scary movies, people will have an encounter with a person and then they'll turn around and they're like disappeared. It's like that. So this person could have been like, kid came up to her and noticed she was alone and said, "Oh, hey, let's be friends. I'm new here too." Stuff like that. And then as soon as this energy says something where Lisa questions it, like, "What did you say? Oh, what do you mean?" It becomes hostile. And that's when it does something to scare her or put her in a state of fear. Okay, so something like that. So that's wild. Okay. What else? 80. Oh my gosh. Spirit said eight gods, 80, 1800s. Spirit might be talking about the hotel itself. If the hotel is a stomping grounds for doing rituals, for summoning in energy, people are going there for cheap hotel to gather people and do like dark rituals and stuff. They summon in certain energies that are possibly stuck at that hotel or that haunt that hotel. Okay, so I'm gonna do the game of meme. I don't know why, I'm just called to do it. The game of meme. We'll do the game of meme. Oh, it's blank. Blank. Oh, and nightmare juice. All right, tell me more. Nightmare juice. Yeah, having people go there and they think they have great ideas to do something, and what happens? It ends up not being such a great idea. Nightmare juice. Having ideas that are very detrimental, that are dangerous. Yeah, people have drawn in a lot of energy at this hotel. So, I don't know. I don't know how. I'm not an expert. I'm learning as we go, but maybe we can clear some of the energy at this hotel. And we can also release Lisa Lamb's soul as well, including the prostitute that may have tricked her. Live in the dream. Let me see. Live in the dream. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, live in the dream. Crawling out of a dark hole. Yeah, I hope to be able to heal this energy. What else? What else do you want us to know? So she could have absolutely been pulled in by some kind of energy. She did it. Absolutely. I told you she did it. She did it. This ghost, who she used to be a prostitute. She could have been tricked to come to the hotel for, a job, and it ended up being something else. Never again. Never again. Yeah. Never again. Yeah, she definitely got caught off guard. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, so the hotel definitely draws in people who match the energy of it. But we're going to clear it. It's not going to take any more people. I'm going to guarantee that. What else, Lisa? What else do you want us to know? Where should I go? Let's do a mind trap. Captain Frank went to the hardware store to make a purchase for this house. He asked the clerk, "How much will one cost?" The clerk thought for a moment and said, $3. Captain Frank, who looked a little puzzled, said, "Well, then, how much will 12 cost?" $6. Spirit said, Olivia. $6, replied the clerk. Captain Frank scratched his head and said, "If I were to purchase 200, how much would that cost?" That, said the clerk, will cost you $9. What was Captain Frank buying? House numbers. Hmm. Hmm. So there's something about, I think this is the moment where she realized that something was weird about this energy she was encountering. Spirit said Joyce and Olivia. I think this is referring to the point where she realized something was weird when she asked a question. Because what I'm getting is, I know when I was younger, and I haven't encountered them as of late because I repressed this gift, but when I was younger, there was a ghost in this house that we lived in a long time ago. And when it was trying to talk to me, it was in the doorway, and the hallway was lit up, and my room was dark, and the door was open, and it was in the doorway. So it looked like a black figure. And I thought, as a young person, I just thought it was, just somebody, a guest of the house or something, like my parents had a guest over. And as I was talking to it and I was asking it questions, I realized that I wasn't opening my mouth to ask it questions. It was happening telepathically. Drop not when we're trying to move souls on a better plane. Absolutely, Robin. And that's when I realized that that this wasn't a person, because I was talking to it telepathically. So there's something about that when their conversation may have gotten her to a point where she realized that she wasn't actually opening her mouth and speaking words to whatever she was talking to. And that's when she started to go into some kind of fear. And I also know that when you're in a state of fear, it's paralyzing. It's so scary to feel like you don't know what's happening, you don't know what you're witnessing, and for somebody who's already at a very vulnerable mental state, as she was, that can be terrifying. So she may have gone into abandoned playground. So she may have tried to abandon this energy, but it's energy. So she's not, it is a form of psychosis, but not because of her bipolar. It was because she realized while having a conversation with her that she wasn't actually talking with her mouth. And so she's like, how can that be? How can I be talking to something without having, words come out of my mouth? Because she was speaking telepathically, because it's energy. When you're crossed over, you don't speak with words, it's all symbols and stuff, or it's a conversation in your mind. Okay. When I speak to angels and, interdimensionals, we don't speak in words. We speak through mind to mind conversation. I'm an expert when it comes to this stuff. Do you know familiars? A design specifically for you. It studies you. It will follow, especially if she wasn't spiritual, which many people are not these days. Exactly. If you don't know energy and you don't understand what's happening, and you're already at such a vulnerable, fragile state mentally, you will absolutely go into psychosis. And so symbols, words, videos, absolutely, Mike. Yes, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing energy with me, you guys. Absolutely. I'm so happy you guys are hearing me. I'm so happy you guys are seeing what I'm saying. Yes, absolutely. So this friend, this energy, that when people die, this is why you shouldn't go to haunted places and stuff if you're not a clear field, because entities can be jealous. They can be jealous if they see somebody who's vibrant and has an active field, even if it's at a very low bandwidth because they're depressed. It doesn't matter. It's going to be more energy than what they have because of the way they died, how they died. Taxidermists, yes, because they're stuck in the energy that they died in. Okay. Oh, my nose is getting stuffy. Sleep paralysis to me is not scary. What spirit has told me is that sleep paralysis is just is just because you're astral traveling. And so when you're still in the astral realm, it's very important for your body not to move. And so you could be shifting in between the physical realm and the astral realm. And so your body needs to be safe, and so you'll experience paralysis. And that happens to me many times. And my suggestion for you when that happens is to just take a deep breath and know that what's happening is that your astral body needs to catch up to your physical body. And when it's ready, it will move, but to just allow the process to happen. Good morning, Maria. Yes. Yep. Spiritual, astral, yes. Yep. When you're in the middle of astral projection or astral travel or dreaming, and you come and your body wakes up before your astral body comes back, you will be in sleep paralysis. But the misconception is that, and that could have been happening to Elisa in this place, and that could have added to her. She could have been having like nightmares. She could have been having, oh, Spirit said night. Spirit just said night. Yeah, she could have been having sleep paralysis, and astro is that science crap. Well, it has many names, whatever you want to label it. Out of body. Yes, it's absolutely real, and it happens to me all the time. And when it happens, I just smile and I say, okay, whenever you're ready to come back. And in the meantime, whatever you're ready to show me, because you're still experiencing something in the astral realm. And I've had many experiences like that. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of that. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm just so stuffy in this energy. Please tell me more. What else? What else, honey? What else did you experience? So she might have been experiencing nightmares, and they could have put her in a very like fear type thing, and when she was talking to this person or this ghost who apparently became to her as a friend, and was going to show her around, that could have been why she was walking around the hotel. Walking around the hotel. Oh, cardomancy. Spirit's been telling me about cardomancy lately. I had to look that up the other day because Spirit said cardomancy. Way to go, Michael. Pretty cool. I get into it, then smile with a thumbs up. Yeah, and then carry on, right? Yeah. Cool. I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for sharing energy with me. I'm glad you were drawn here. Somewhere unknown. So, what I'm getting is she felt excited to make a new friend. She thought she was, following somebody who had her best interest, because we have right here, beautiful majesty, someone who came to her and made her feel very safe at first. And then the minute she realized something was weird, maybe this ghost did something erratic, and she looked at it like, what the hell, there's something that this ghost did that was very like out of the lines, that was very out of line, that could have been very scary, could have given her like a very intrusive thought, and it shocked her, and that's when it made her very scared. And then that's when it started to become hostile. It may have started, she tried to bail, she was trying to escape. It may have been, kind of like, what's that word? Kind of like, I don't know how to, like, having, like, finding joy out of, like, it was excited to, like, scare her. It was like feeding off her fear. So it was like excited to, like, scare her. It was like, I don't know, making her feel like she had to escape. She realized that whatever this is, like her body and her, she thought she was going crazy, basically, in a nutshell, because this ghost, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of um American Horror Story with Lady Gaga, and I believe that hotel is supposed to be like the hotel in that in that show is supposed to be um mimicking or based on the Cecil Hotel and the experiences that people had there. It's basically like that. Like she started to experience some kind of psychosis because she was experiencing a spiritual experience. Not spiritual like in a good way, but like she was experiencing a ghost cycle, of experience. This ghost may have been showing her what she went through, the anguish she went through. She may have been showing her what ritual happened to her and how she lost her life. And she may have been the clearing, and oh my gosh, Spirit said the clearing, we're clearing the field right now. And that really scared her because when you don't understand energy and you get shown a vision like that, you automatically will obviously go into a fear mode, and you'll think like, oh my god, I'm going crazy, I'm going into psychosis, I can't, I can see this person but I can hear her in my head, and blah blah blah, lost in the forest. And as soon as you go into that fear state, you start to become erratic. You start to behave irrationally. You start to try to escape something that's in your mind. So it's both of these things. So it's energetically this entity or a ghost or a girl or whatever, this prostitute that crossed over in a horrible way, is trying to show her, is trying to communicate to her what happened to her. But at the same time, it's scaring the shit out of Elisa. It's scaring the shit out of her because she doesn't understand what she's seeing. She doesn't understand what she's seeing. So her name's Elisa Lam. Elisalam. Spirit said Beverly. So she doesn't understand what she's seeing. So she's trying to escape this something that she's seeing in her head, because that's how energy works. It shows you visions inside of your mind through visions, and she keeps falling. She keeps falling, trying to escape. She can't escape it. She's a dog on a leash. She can't escape the visions that it's giving her, and she thinks she's going crazy. But she's not. She's just experiencing a lot of energetic input at one time, because this energy is so hungry for life that it's clung on to her, it's attached itself to her, and it's trying to abysmal nights. And the abysmal nights of everything it feels is so abysmal. It's latched on, it's got a catch, it's caught a prey. And so it's trying to, she's very surprised by this. She doesn't understand what she's experiencing. So she's running around thinking that she has to escape something physical, but it's always with her. It's like inside of her mind. And she already has, she already thinks she has these, mental disabilities or whatever, bipolar and depression. And so she's attributing it to, like, I'm going crazy. Okay, so what happens next? What happens next? Yeah, the water. She's trying to escape it. So she thinks that she has to get away from it. So she goes to the water tower. But what happens after that? Because I want to know why she took her clothes off and stuff. How can I find that out? Why did you take your clothes off and go into the water tower? There may be something about her not being able to discern, not being able to distinguish between reality and what was being projected on her energetically through the energy that's in that hotel. Going down a hallway thinking it's just like, if you guys go watch the American Horror Story, that hotel one with Lady Gaga, it's 100% like that. Okay, it's 100% like that, where you're just going about your day and you go, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being a fan. Or going about your day, and the scene changes in your mind, but you don't know how to distinguish it because your mind, I don't know how to describe it. It's like when you can smell a burger in your mind, like you don't need the burger to smell it. Your mind makes a smell and you can like smell it in your mind. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah, like a dream. Yeah, it's like a dream, but you don't realize it's a dream. It's like Freddy Krueger when when in the dream state they like see something they think is real, and so they're like astral projection, like you think it's mental problems. Yeah, she was attributing it to mental problems, but it was really a vision. But the vision that was being projected on her was by an entity that wanted her to be where that entity is, because the entity doesn't want to be alone. The entity wants other people who have life to feel its pain. And so in that wanting, it will trick the person into going. She could have thought she was going down the fire escape downstairs, but really she ended up going into the upstairs into the water. And so she could have took her clothes off because she thought she was going into the shower. She, like whatever the vision was, it was not what it truly was. And because she couldn't distinguish between the two, because her, all the medication she was on, and all of the mental anguish and all of the things that she thought that she was attributing it to that. And so she went to a very magnetic place for her energy that preyed upon her, that took that opportunity to put her in anguish and fear, and betrayed her. Her own thoughts betrayed her. I really don't watch horror movies or meddle with spirits. Water, they say, is a gateway. Empath. Yeah, she could have absolutely been an empath. Absolutely, because, a lot of the times people will be labeled as bipolar or schizophrenic who do have extrasensory perception, who are very empathic, who feel a lot of feelings. She could have absolutely been that, and that's why she could have been so susceptible to the energy there. Absolutely. So this stuff's real, you guys, and we're very passionate about teaching you about energy, because this could happen to anybody. All that she's feeling is reflection of oneself. Yeah, she could have absolutely been feeling that other person, that entity or that ghost, what that ghost felt when they died, because I have anguish here. And what I'm learning about energy that passes in a traumatic way, they'll be stuck at that place where they died in a horrible way. They'll be like stuck in that place. And then anyone who matches that energy, who's in anguish, who's in mental disarrayment, or what, I don't know if that's a word, they'll match each other's energy and they'll draw each other in. And so she was an energetic match to that energy, and that energy found her like a beacon, and it spiraled into this fear where she became like she wanted to escape, okay, because she thought her own mind was betraying her. She tyrant, and that energy could have been very like a tyrant. It says right here, hostile. The energy could have became hostile. I'm the one who fought the jinn and won. Oh, cool. I love your channel. What advice can you give me as a transracial man? I don't know. Just follow what feels good, Don't worry about what other people think. Just follow what makes you feel good emotionally. As long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not hurting yourself, then you can, every experience is valuable to source. I was born white, but identify as black. That's so funny. We've been getting downloads for our next episode of Spirit News. We just came out with the episode. It's episode 19 about the rise of divine feminine energy. And the next episode has to do with identity, but I'm still gathering the components for that. So it's very interesting that identity is coming up. It's been coming up a lot lately. So this is very interesting, you guys. This is a very good lesson on energy. How can we heal it? We understand what happened now. How can we heal it? So basically, in a nutshell, she was in a place that was very concentrated, with negative energy. She was herself in a place that matched that energy. She was also taking medications and things that made her like a portal for that energy, or like a beacon for that energy to affect her. So when she went there, it was like American Horror Story at, the Cecil Hotel, where you will be like in a dream state where you think something's happening, but it's actually not. So that's why in the footage, in her mind, it's happening. She's being chased by something. She's trying to escape something that betrayed her, that pretended to be her friend, that was going to show her around. But then she realized that, this friend, she wasn't actually using her mouth to speak to her. She kept speaking to this woman telepathically, and that kind of ruined this ghost. It betrayed her, it ruined this ghost act to trick her, and it turned on her, and it started to make her feel the way she feels all the time, because this ghost is stuck in a cycle, because this ghost got themselves to a place. It could have been a prostitute that may have passed in some kind of ritual that was done at the hotel. We know that the hotel is anonymous, is what's the word, infamous for having satanic rituals done there. She could have been a victim of that, and she attached herself to Lisa because Lisa was a portal for that, for a magnetic match. And she wasn't able to distinguish what was real and what wasn't. And so in that, trying to escape these awful thoughts and visions that this ghost is giving her, the ghost could have tricked her into thinking she was escaping, but she really went upstairs. And then taking her clothes off, that could have been her subconscious way of trying to snap her out of it by doing something that is very like automatic. Like when you get into water, you take your clothes off. And so that could have been her body's way of trying to like snap her out of the dream she was in. But unfortunately, she scaled. I have scaled right here. She could have thought she was scaling, the stairs to go, outside onto the sidewalk, but really, she went into the tank. And so she took her clothes off subconsciously, but consciously she was stuck in this fear state. And the energy that was projecting itself onto her could have been having her think she was doing something different. Presumably. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Because when you're a match to this energy and you don't know how to distinguish what's happening, you can absolutely attach yourself to it and then think that that's really happening, especially when you're in a place of such concentrated negative emotion. Okay. Oh, that was like so hard to to get out. How can we heal it? How can we heal it? How can we release the energy that's in that place? How can we heal it? Ooh. Ooh, lightheaded. Wow, that was a big one. How can we heal it? Trust the timing. Time is the universe's ally. Trust its flow and everything will fall into place. Patience, divine rhythm, perfect timing. Absolutely. So if you're becoming more sensitive to energy and you're, oh, thank you so much for the gift. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you for my gift. Little cute corgi. So if you're becoming more sensitive to energy and you're starting to learn how to distinguish energy and you're starting to encounter, cryptids and lower astral intrusive thoughts, and you're starting to have like experiences like paralysis, you have to trust in the timing. So what I'm getting from that is just wait. Don't take it at face value. You need to just wait a minute. If you get an intrusive thought, you need to ask yourself, well, is it actually happening now in this moment? Or am I just perceiving it? Because as we go, as the veil gets thinner and as we get closer to the sun, you're going to be, thank you, you're going to be, Spirit said the beast, you're going to encounter, negative intrusive thoughts. You're going to encounter negative people. You're going to encounter things that try to invade your dream space, because they want to try to trick you. They want to try to be scared, to be in a fear state. But you have to trust in spirit and ask yourself and ask spirit, is this true? Is this actually happening right now? What are you trying to tell me in this moment? And give it time. Don't be reactive. Don't act immediately based on what you're experiencing, because you need to learn the art of detachment and detach yourself and look at it objectively from a higher perspective, because what you're experiencing could be energetic. And energetic, sometimes if you're not used to receiving energetic downloads, you can perceive them as being real, like a dream. You can, and that's how the mind works. It's a projection onto the mind, how energy works on the mind. And so this is a excellent, amazing class right now with spirit that's teaching us about energetic projections, because that's what's going to happen in the future. That's what they're going to try to use to get us in a certain in the certain energy of fear, because it makes us easier to control and to trick into going into a water tower, or trick into go and shooting up a school, or trick into go jumping off a building. These are the energies that we need to discern to understand what is ours and what's an intrusive thought. And mind over matter, just like the song says, mind over matter. And so you have to understand and trust that, and ask yourself, is this true right now in this moment, or is it something else? And allow your spirit team, ask your spirit team to come in and make things clear, to give you clarity, to take a deep breath, and to just understand that it could be an energetic projection. Okay. There's a highway in Washington State, and people will just pull over out of nowhere and head straight up the mountain. If they are found, remember nothing. Oh my gosh, that could absolutely be. Thank you for bringing that up. That's how energy works. If you're in a place that has a high energy, or something happened there, or there's a ley line, or there's some kind of like crystal that amplifies energy there, it can affect our energy field, and the way it gets processed through our mind could, if we're not aware of the way energy works, we could absolutely follow that nudge that is being projected onto us to go up the mountain. But really, we should stop, ask ourselves, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And time is precious, and trust in the timing, and just stop and ask yourself, is this true? Is this something I have to do right now? Because as we get, this is, I'm so overwhelmed with how much I want to relay this to you that I'm finding it hard to like speak the words, because I want you to understand energy, because we are all electromagnetic, and the way that we process energy through our mind might not be the way it actually is, because we are energetic. And so we have to stop, say, is this actually happening? What can I do in this moment? What will be the outcome if I go? What is the need for me to go? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Okay, what else, Spirit? Thank you so much. Soul Alliance. Walk with your soul allies together. You will fulfill greater missions. Collaboration, support, shared growth. Absolutely. Like I said, if you're unclear about the direction you should go in because you got an intrusive thought, or you became very scared about something, or there's something that's coming up that you're unsure about, or you're in sleep paralysis, ask your spirit team. Say, I don't know what's happening right now, but spirit team, I need your help. Please give me clarity or help guide me out of the situation. Absolutely. Give me one more. Woo! That's a lot. Serenity within. Yes, find serenity within yourself. It is the unshakable foundation for facing life's challenges. Peace, calm, inner stability. Yes, absolutely. If this is happening, to you and you're not sure, take a deep breath, calm yourself down, and say, I'm fine. Everything's going to be okay. Nothing is happening right now in this moment. Everything's going to be all right. Show me what I need to do, and I trust in the timing of what's to come. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Echoes of love. Love echoes throughout the universe, touching all souls, listens to its call, and feel the healing resonance within. Resonance, healing voice, universal connection. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. So, to end this reading, Lisa is telling us that, she wasn't aware of the power of your thoughts. She was a magnet for what she was constantly thinking. She was a victim to expectations of what she should become instead of following what she wanted to be. And that made her a magnet for this place. And so she went to a place that was very magnetically charged in a negative way, a very like inverted pyramid of a vortex of negative energy. And because she didn't understand energy, she was in a place where she was a portal for this negative energy. And now in retrospect, she sees, if she had simply just asked herself, if this happening right now in the moment, or is this a projection, if this is just my imagination or something else, she could have stopped herself from taking action in that fear state to go to believe what she was actually seeing at face value. It's like that episode, it's like that whole season of American Horror Story at the Cecil Hotel. So she's seeing now that our misinformation, our miseducation about the way energy works. If she had known what she knows now that she's crossed over, it could have absolutely 100% have been able to be stopped. And it goes for the same for people who shoot up schools, who take people's lives, for those shooters that go to random buildings and kill people for no reason. That's what this is. It's intrusive thought from energy projections, from lower astral entities, from trickster entities. That's how they try to manipulate your energy. So just know going forward that it's absolutely 100% able to be stopped, and you can absolutely 100% discern, just like Yeshua says. Yeshua said, discern the spirit, discern the energy, be objective, be detached from the thought so you can understand it from a higher perspective. If you stop and listen and speak to the Lord, he will answer you. Absolutely. Yes. Just stop. Ask yourself, ask spirit, ask Yeshua, whoever you want to claim, what the universe, ask for the help of discernment. Absolutely. My lower entity is always sapping my energy. Well, you need to do things that are a higher vibration, so that lower entity has nothing to feed off of. You need to stop stop reacting to things, stop giving it your energy, stop being in a lower vibration for it to feed off of. Resonate something good, some good vibes my way or something. I send you all love. I send you all my love. Thank you so much. This was definitely a harder energy to communicate, to vocalize, to put into a package where it was understandable, but it was definitely very important to understand energy, because we're all electromagnetic. And as long as we're electromagnetic, you're going to attract things that you vibrate at now. So very interesting, very fascinating. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to come here every weekend. We're here every weekend for you at 6 a.m. to do a celebrity read and a true crime read to understand energy, so we can go forward in new earth energies and empower ourselves to know ourselves, to understand the way it works, and so we can be in alignment. We love you so much. We are so grateful for you. Thank you for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscribes, and all of the shared energy and the engagement. We're so grateful. Thank you, Robin, for always being here. Thank you, Michael, for coming. We love you. We'll see you next weekend. Bye, guys.